Hey, what's going on, guys? Greg here. Welcome back to the channel. So excited to have you guys all listening in today. Basically, we're doing daily stimulus updates, and we're going to give you an additional update today. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up. The more of you that are getting on here, the more accurately we can portray information for you guys and get it to you as fast as possible. That's the goal. That's the highest priority for me, because I feel like a lot of people that are making these stimulus videos and these stimulus updates aren't people that need the stimulus check or, any kind of government assistance. So I'm really excited to be doing this video for you guys today, because I badly need it, like so many of you. And I've been just digging into this so heavily since it's happened, and I've been following it super consistently. Everything from PUA, lost wages assistance, the UI benefits, the small business loan, any facet of the CARES Act. I've just been really following all of it because I've had to. I've just been in survival mode, like I said, like so many of you guys. So one thing I'm really excited to share about in this video is that I've had a lot of progress, especially in this last week, on getting some of these unresolved issues through PUA cleared, and a lot of other stuff that's helped me make progress in getting some of this money. My issue mainly was that I was basically on hold for the longest time with PUA. I did every single thing they asked. I was calling, emailing like crazy, and for some reason my account wasn't getting cleared. And I know that's an issue that so many of you have dealt with, so I'm going to get into that later in the video. But like I said, definitely subscribe, give it a thumbs up if you're new. And before we really dive into all of this, I wanted to tell you guys about Yotta Savings. Yotta Savings is an incredible savings account. What's super cool about Yotta is it incentivizes you to save money. So basically how it works is every time you put money in this savings account, it generates these tickets, and these tickets can be used for different raffles and drawings for some pretty legit prizes. The best one is up to $10 million, but there's thousands of other prizes and stuff you can qualify for. And if it's money you already have, like if you already have a savings account, you might as well at least put some of it in Yotta and see if you can win some stuff. If you use our code, you're literally going to get 100 tickets right off the bat. Once you deposit a little bit of money in it, you can literally pull it right back out if you wanted, and you'd still keep those tickets. So basically it's a win-win is what I'm telling you guys. And lastly, if you're really in need of some extra cash right now, I definitely recommend you check out Uber and Lyft. Our links are in the sign-up code below. I drove for Uber and Lyft for 4 or 5 years. I used it as a catalyst to start the business that I currently run. And it was essentially just a great catalyst to get me to some of my dreams and some of the things I wanted to do. But now more than ever, it's a great gig to be doing, just to get some food on the table, pay that utility bill, whatever it is. Uber and Lyft is phenomenal for just those little bills and these things that, are probably adding up in a really tough time. You can also get a great sign-up bonus if you use our unique code, which is in the description. So definitely get on that. It could be a bonus of up to $1,000. So check that out and let me know how it goes. All right, so let's jump into the stimulus update. So just to catch you guys up, for those of you that haven't been following it super closely, Trump is trying to pass a $1.8 trillion dollar stimulus package. And there's basically opposition from all sides on how this should go down. So I believe Mitch McConnell thinks that it should be only $500 billion, which is like a quarter or so of what Trump and Pelosi's trying to do. And Pelosi, I believe, is lobbying for 2.2. Now, obviously the 2.2 sounds great, right? Like we would all love more money. But a lot of the difference is where those funds are getting allocated, as well as how soon that would realistically get passed. Trump wants this now. He definitely wants this money to get to us before the election. Now, let's be honest, that helps his cause a lot. If it's, a few weeks before the election, a ton of Americans are getting, some decent sized checks in the mail, they might be thinking a certain way different about him, So obviously he's got a lot of motive to push that. And I'm not going to dive too much into, whose side is right or wrong, but I think we could all use that money pretty quickly, right? So the issue with Pelosi's plan is that it's not coming anytime soon, and the main problem is there's just way too much debate on both sides about how this should go down. So a lot of the arguments have been, well, Nance needs to, just suck it up and go talk to Trump, and figure something out. But here's the reality. She's never going to do anything. She's never done anything. That's just a lot of like smoke and mirrors, I feel like. So that's kind of what's been going on. But basically the theme of it is, I'm sure some of you have heard about Trump's latest tweet. It was go big or go home. Like, he's all in for this. He's saying, hey, let's get the American people money and let's do it quickly. So let's think about one thing. So why is Trump opposed to Pelosi's plan? Like, obviously, if she's wanting more money, it's like, why is he not for that? Basically, what he said, he blamed Pelosi for including all sorts of quote unquote goodies in her 2.2 trillion offer. She's asking for all sorts of goodies. She wants to bail out badly. She wants to bail out badly run Democrat states and cities. She wants money for things that you just couldn't, your pride couldn't let it happen, he said. And I believe that Pelosi is opposed to Trump's plan primarily because of the difference in how much is going to children / child care. So I believe Pelosi's plan has I want to say 54 billion. Whereas Trump's plan has 27 billion. Now, one thing to take into consideration is is that in the new plan that Trump's offering, the new stimulus offer, is that, I'm sure you guys saw this, but each dependent child would get an additional $1,000 as opposed to $500 before. So there is a lot more going to kids in the stimulus, and I think that's their way of trying to compensate for that difference. I don't think for a second either side would just blatantly not care about children, child care. Obviously, getting kids back into school is of huge importance. I don't know how it is for you guys in other states. I'm in Arizona, and basically where we're at right now with schooling is that kids, they sent kids back today, but they claimed that cases are rising drastically again in here, and they said in another few days, if it keeps rising, they're just going to send them all back home again. So that, I think, is no good, but what are you going to do about that? But so basically the main theme, the main update we have right now is essentially Trump's tweet, go big or go home. They're still kind of duking this out. McConnell said he doesn't believe it's feasible for Trump's plan, or really anyone's plan, to get passed before the election. So I think really the main change we're going to see, and the main time we'll really see any kind of progress, is probably post-election, which is pretty frustrating. And believe me, I'm sitting here fingers crossed, just as much as all of you guys are, because I'm definitely hoping that comes through. So basically, I'll give you guys a personal update now. So the personal update is, like I said earlier, I run a marketing agency. So we just do SEO, we run ads, we do all the fun stuff to help anyone's business scale up on the internet. So what happened to me personally is, once everything really started getting crazy, in tough times, generally people are going to cut out what they consider unnecessary expenses to survive, and I totally get that. For me, unfortunately, that meant that most people were cutting off their marketing bill. A lot of businesses were shutting down. They just, why would they keep paying for that, So I lost at least 75% of the clients I had almost right away. And so I went from, making a good living and being pretty chill in life to all of a sudden I really had to figure things out, and I had to figure things out quick. So of course right away I applied for UI, I applied for the PUA, which that's the only reason I applied for UI, because I'm an independent contractor. And basically the UI benefits have to be considered quote unquote exhausted to get PUA. Now that can mean that you just never even got approved, or you were, and they exhausted all the funds they were willing to give you. Now, in my state, it was extremely frustrating because our fantastic governor very poorly spent the funds that were coming in from the CARES Act. So really quickly, all of a sudden we were out of money. And so a lot of people were getting cut off with no explanation. I got cut off back on, it was about June 14th or 15th. And basically there was no explanation. I was getting the 600 PUA plus the unemployment benefits each week, which that was, taking care of me. It was less than what I was, making before, but I was finding ways to make it work, And I was okay with that. I was like, ultimately, like, if my business is tanking right now and I can just get by, like, that's okay. I'll just do what I got to do. So I was really frustrated when it got cut off in June. So immediately I started calling, emailing all the time, as often as I could, and I was never getting any single response. And every time I would call the line, they would have me fill out all the information, my social security, all the stuff, the 4-digit PIN. And then I would do all that, and it would just get there and say the call lines are busy. And a lot of times I was calling the minute they opened, and it was already saying that. Sometimes it would literally just say in a recorded tone that there was literally not going to be anyone to talk for a super long time. Layman terms, obviously. So it was insanely frustrating. And obviously now we're in October, and it's been all this time, and I haven't gotten anything. So I have been exploring so many options. One of the most helpful things, and I would recommend you do this all in whatever state you're in, is find a PUA or UI Facebook group. There should be one in your state. Somebody's more than likely made one. So I found one for Arizona, and I joined, and it was incredible because all these people had this great information on, how they resolved some of their issues and so much other stuff. So going through the comments, like just scouring and devouring info, and then one day someone posts that it was a lady that claims that she works at like a elderly assistance home, and she got so many of the people she took care of, she got so many of their issues cleared by calling this phone number. And she didn't really say what it was, but I was like, hey, it can't hurt, right? So the first few times, I think it just wasn't a good time to call because I was calling really early in the morning, and I'm guessing that's when everyone calls. But I had to before I went to work. I had to get a job during these unprecedented times. So ironically, now I have a job and I can't qualify for any of it, but I should still get back pay for the months I missed. So just yesterday, actually, I called this number a third time, and I was on hold, and I actually fell asleep, and I have no idea how long I was on hold for, but thank God I woke up when I heard the guy talking. He's like, hello. I was like, hey, don't hang up, please don't hang up. So he talked me through it, and he basically told me flat out, he's like, I have no idea why your account has unresolved issues. He's like, it makes no sense. He goes, it looks like they thought that your account was fraudulent, so they asked you to take a picture of you, hold a selfie with your driver's license and a picture of your social security, and I did that. That was about 2 months ago. And he's like, your account still never got cleared, so he's like, let me do some things. He's like, all right, I'm going to clear up those issues and submit like a ticket or claim for them to check out your account and get some of that back pay pushed your way. Now, what kind of sucks is I probably won't get any of the PUA money that I was qualified for. I should have gotten from June 14th all the way to July 25th. But because Arizona misspent, I'm probably not going to get any of that. He said I might, but he said, I'm going to be honest with you, man. He's like, I haven't seen anyone get it. So what I will get is I will get about 2 months of unemployment benefits back paid. So that's still awesome. It's still a win. So this is the number I ended up calling. Now, this was for Arizona, so this isn't applicable for other states. If some of you are in Arizona, though, say something in the comments, and I can get you that phone number. But the phone number that I called, it was really interesting. It was like a Arizona Department of Economic Security direct deposit line. So it wasn't like anything PUA or unemployment related, really, but it was some branch or something inside of them, but it was never a number I found on the website. I had Googled stuff. I had tried so many different things, and I had never found this phone number. So that was a huge win for me. They said my account should be cleared this week. So I'm anxiously waiting, and obviously I'll update you guys if it for sure is. But yeah, so that's been my journey with PUA. UI and everything else. I did also get the small business loan a while back. If any of you guys are independent contractors or entrepreneurs, I definitely recommend you check that out. I got a nice little chunk of money for that. that one is, I believe you do have to pay that one back, but I've heard it's like $30 a month or something for the next like few years or however long. So it's a very doable payment just to get you by in the meantime. And a lot of things I've told a lot of friends and family members is like, you just need to do what you need to do to get by in this time. If that means getting more credit cards, even though you don't want to jack up your credit, do it. You know, whatever you got to do to take care of yourself. I really believe that 2020 will be a year where no matter what really happens with your credit or your rent, I don't think anyone's going to look too seriously at that. If you've gotten an eviction this month or you know, in 2020, I wouldn't worry about that stuff like haunting you, because I really think that in the future people are going to have a lot of grace for this time period, especially if you live in a complex where they're still evicting people. Like, I think they're going to understand that like somehow that complex, you know, escaped the law in some way. Some private organization is what these other places have said. So yeah, I hope that those PUA, some of my experience helps you out. If you guys have any more in-depth questions, I'd love to talk to some of you more about that as well. All right, so the next update I just want to give you guys is just on the election. So obviously we're really creeping up on that time. It's a crazy time. I honestly hate it. I just can't stand how much arguing and bickering that leads to nothing. That debate was something. So this can really mean, it could be good news or bad news. So there's an incredible amount of uncertainty. We kind of went over how the stimulus will probably go down regarding the election, so I'm not going to touch on that too much. But basically, to summarize it, Trump's motive is he wants it now. He wants to get us money now. Definitely benefits his cause. I don't really understand what Pelosi's motive is. I've never really understood her motive. I don't know if you guys heard, but there was one, oh man, I can't remember his name right now. I'm losing it. I think it was a governor somewhere is like trying to vote to get Pelosi just booted. And I think a lot of people are just like fed up with her, but you know, with her little smile, and I can't even do it right. But yeah, so today's theme for the video, go big or go home. I really hope we can get that money in soon, and I want to remind you guys again, if you haven't checked out Uber or Lyft before and you need some money, definitely go check out our link in the description. Get that really nice fat promotional bonus for signing up as a new driver. Links in the description. And check out Yada Savings as well. That's just a good, fun thing to do. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.